Hey guys, sorry it's been quite a while. Got pretty busy. Had a trip out of town, and just life with wife and kid. Sometimes you don't get any free time, so been picking up stuff. Haven't had time to really sit down and film for a little while. So this is about 3 weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks worth of stuff here. Haven't read any of it, so I just kind of made a pile. And we'll go through and see what we got here. So this first one, Punisher Soviet #4. Haven't started reading this yet, but it's a mini series by Garth Ennis, and his Punisher is always on point. So even sight unseen, I'm sure this will be worth the pickup. This next one is Action Comics 1020. I've recently dropped Superman, also by Bendis. The Superman title, apart from the recent reveal of Superman's secret identity, apart from that, it's been rather. Superman's the title that Bendis seems to have him more in. He's in fights, there's action, he's in space. Action Comics, on the other hand, has been the more grounded title where it's, just around Metropolis, and more of it has been almost like he's an investigative reporter than anything. So I've enjoyed Action Comics more. The dynamic with Metropolis and the Daily Bugle, or not Daily Bugle, the Daily Planet, has been a little bit better in my, as far as what I'm looking for from Bendis. I think that's his natural. He got into comics doing like more grounded superheroes and crime fiction type stuff. So Action Comics is where he's doing that more, and you can just tell he's a little bit better at it. So this is Detective Comics 1020. Same thing with Batman here. I've dropped the Batman title now that Tom King is off of it. They brought on James Tynion, who I like some of his stuff, but sometimes it just seems a little too straightforward to me. Meanwhile, in Detective Comics, Peter Tomasi has been on that for a while now, since the run-up to 1000, and he's always been a good Batman writer in my summation. So, Batman and Superman, rather than getting the name titles, I'm getting the original, titles they started in with Detective Comics and Action Comics, and I think that'll be enough for me. So, this here is Giant Size X-Men, Jean Grey, Emma Frost. I wasn't going to pick it up, but then I saw that it was by Hickman. They've had a few of these giant size where it hasn't been Hickman, but I'll pick up basically anything that he puts out. I've read a review for this just a couple days ago. They said it was almost dialogue free, so it'll be interesting to see how they work that. They said the artist did a really good job on showing expressions, things like that. I don't know if it's just dialogue free and they're going to have some sort of psychic, back and forth that will be written out. They're both telepaths. They could easily do that, and, it'd be quote unquote dialogue free, but they'd be having a dialogue, so we'll see how that works. This is Hellblazer #4. Started picking this up after they relaunched it under the Sandman universe, DC Black Label. First 3 issues were pretty good, so I'm gonna give this a try. I've always liked Constantine as a guest star in, like Justice League Dark and other titles where he's popped up. The original Hellblazer series I have some issues of, but it was never something that popped out or was super interesting to me. so we'll see how far that goes. This was a surprise. I didn't know it was coming out. It's Leviathan Dawn by Bendis and Malieve. The Leviathan, I think it was called Leviathan Rising, miniseries was really good. And I thought it was just going to be, moving into the main Superman titles, and then I saw this week for $4.99, and I was like, oh crap. So picked this up just to continue that story. And Bendis and Malieve, if you didn't read their Daredevil work, those two put their best stuff when they're together, so I had to get that. Shazam number 11 by Jeff Johns. I have not read a single issue yet of this Shazam series. I'm picking it up on Jeff Johns' name and the character alone. I'll have to sit down and just take all these issues out and read them in one sitting, because we're up to 11 now, and I literally have, no idea what's going on, and here we are almost a year into the series, so, and heck, probably more than a year, given the delays on the title. If that had been coming out on time, I'd probably be like 15 issues in. So, this is Witchfinder. This is a offshoot of Hellboy and the BPRD that Mike Mignola does. It's basically Sir Edward Grey, who was the Victorian occult detective for the Queen. Falsified character as far as I know, but they do put him in historical roles and situations. It's very good, and since Hellboy and BPRD both have run their course, this is about the only thing in the Hellboy sphere apart from the one-shots and miniseries that's coming out on a regular basis. So, X-Men number 7. Haven't read any of the X-Men series yet. I finished up Powers of X and was it House of X? I forget now, but I finished up those 2 minis from Hickman that led into his X-Men series. I'm just a little behind. I haven't picked up any of the other X-Men series. They have an enormous amount now, but Hickman's only writing this one, and that's all I will pick up. I'm not going to be picking up, Excalibur and X-Force and all these other things. Old Guard number 3, Force Multiplied. This is by Greg Rucka. This is a really good series about they're kind of immortal mercenaries who have come together because of their immortality. It's almost like I don't know, it reminds me of Highlander to an extent. Had no idea this new series was coming out until it popped up on the racks, so been picking this up. If you happen to see the original Guard miniseries on the trade paperback shelves, I would highly recommend it. Batman's Grave number 5. I didn't start picking this up initially, but then I saw great reviews, and it's by Warren Ellis with Brian Hitch on art, and it's a mini-series, so went back to my comic shop, picked up the first few issues. It's up to number 5 now. This just happens to be a variant that they had that looked pretty awesome in comparison to the other ones. Anything Warren Ellis is normally going to be pretty top-notch, so I haven't got that. Captain America number 19. I'm mostly up to date with this. I sat down and read through the last 12 or so issues. When Ta-Nehisi Coates came on the book, I wasn't sure because I didn't really like his Black Panther. I thought it was a little too cerebral and political, but Captain America so far has been really good, so I would recommend it. The Dryad revealed, if you've been reading the book, you know who the Dryad is. and why this is going to be interesting. It's somebody from Cap's past, and they've given it away that who she was, probably like issue 16 or 17, but Cap himself has no idea yet, so that should be a good read there. Conan the Barbarian number 13, finished up through 12, which was Jason Aaron's run. I thought and was hoping that he was going to continue with this book. Obviously, no. Or, at the very least, he is going to be swapping maybe story arcs. I mean, I know the man is one of Marvel's big names, and he's probably very busy, but hello, we would like you to continue writing. So, this one's by Jim Zub. I've read some of his work. I don't remember if it was particularly great. We'll see how this goes. I'm also picking up Savage Sword, which has been a rotating team. So, the rotating team on that title was understandable, but I thought the main title was going to be a Jason Aaron's thing. So, Daredevil 18. This has been rather good. It's been kind of like that Frank Miller run where he wasn't in the suit. This is very much an homage to that. So, Chip Zdarsky, who's the writer, has been doing a great job. He's had Daredevil out of the suit for almost all of the issues, probably issue 2 on up. He has not been in costume. There's word that he's going to be back in the costume relatively soon. But he's been very much laying the groundwork for changes that, while not major, they will be interesting to read through. Fantastic Four, number 19. I'm pretty far behind on this. I read the first storyline, and then they had the wedding of Ben Grimm. So, that was probably maybe through issue 7 or so. So I'm pretty far behind here. But Dan Slott's Fantastic Four so far has been good. And, with Fantastic Four being on hiatus for as long as it was, probably a couple years, it's just, I'm willing to pick it up. Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. I wasn't going to start picking up this series because they literally just had a 1 through 12 by Donny Cates, which was good, but obviously they're treating this more like seasons now. So when they started season 2 with a new number 1 by Al Ewing, I was going to pass it up, but the first issue was interesting enough that I'll stick with it, see where they go. There's a cool picture of Star-Lord here with his mask, broken off, but it'll be interesting to see how long they do that with Guardians. Is it going to be 12 issues, new person, 12 issues, new person? I don't know. This is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, number 4. I do not know why it looks like he's being taken over by Venom. I'm just picking this up because it's He-Man, and if you're a He-Man fan, you know that He-Man things are few and far between. Art on here is by Tom Derenick, who he's always been to me like a C-list artist. He seems to be fast because they put him on books here and there, and he'll do them or he'll do a fill-in. But I'm not expecting much on the interiors on that. Hellboy and the BPRD, Return of Effie Cobb. Like I said when I was talking about Witchfinder, Hellboy's, apart from these minis and one-shots, this is one of 2. Hellboy and BPRD are really kind of on a BPRD wrapped, and Hellboy was resurrected in BPRD, so that series, that world is very much done. These are all, things that happened in the 50s, 60s, prior to the timeline where Mignola picked up with the original Hellboy, so they're good, but it is always out of, it's out of, not context, but it's no longer in order with, or an ongoing story. It's all flashbacks at this point, really. Legion of Superheroes number 4. I need to read this to see if it's worth continuing. I like some of the eras of the Legion. Obviously, this is a new Legion with Bendis. He's got everybody with, not to get political, but all of a sudden Lightning Lad's a black kid, and Cosmic Boy, he always had black hair, but now he's got a tan, and we have the, not to be flippant, but it's almost like here's the token white chick, where, yes, she's always been white, but, this grouping is just so much more varied than it used to be. So we'll see if this is any good. I liked the Legion of Superheroes when it was tying in with Supergirl back in the, when like Mark Waid was on it, and Supergirl in the skirt. She was, he brought in Supergirl and then kind of shot her into the future. I really liked that. We'll see what Bendis is doing with it. Oblivion Song number 24. I'm not sure how long Robert Kirkman's going to go with this, because, obviously Walking Dead came to an end. Invincible came to an end. He's got a book called Outcast, which is an ongoing. He had Die Die Die, which is like it was like an ongoing bloodfest with, I think it was maybe 10, 12 issues, and then it stopped. Oblivion Song seems like his next new high concept thing, but to an extent it has a lot of Walking Dead similarities. In this book, basically a portion of a city is accidentally shunked into another universe or dimension. There's a character who's trying to figure out why, because he accidentally caused it, and then there's people that are in this dimension who are having to survive and fight off these monsters and things from this other dimension, which, the whole survival trope and, being in a world where everything's out to get you, it's so reminiscent of Walking Dead that I wonder if he's going to get tired of it or if he has an end game, really. This is The Visitor number 3 from Valiant. Picked up the first couple issues. I'll have to give them a read soon. I was picking up Bloodshot for the first 4 issues, and then I dropped it. It was way too 90s. But I figured I'd give this a try. I like trying to support Valiant Comics. I think they have some good properties with, Manowar and Rai and the Eternal Warrior, but right now the only regular out of those 3 characters I like, they have a Rai series going on right now. Exo Manowar is kind of in hiatus while they have a new team come on, and Eternal Warrior is also on a hiatus at this point, so we'll see what they do. Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme. I don't know why they did a renumbering and a new title on this. It's still Mark Waid. He was doing a good job on Doctor Strange, and then all of a sudden it was, let's rebrand it slightly. I don't think they needed to do that, but, same team, so let's stay with it. Hawkman 21. I know this is something to do with the Darkness Infected storyline with the Batman Who Laughs. We'll see. I was hoping Hawkman would be kind of left to do what he needs to do. And then they brought him into that storyline, which I was not too jazzed about, so we'll see how that goes. Mortal Hulk number 31. I thought this title, honestly, I thought it had kind of concluded for a minute there. Around number 24, they made it seem like it was coming to an end, but it's still going, probably because it's doing so well. I mean, these Immortal Hulk issues are great, so if you like Hulk, go get them. But I thought for a while that Al Ewing had basically, had his 24 issues and was done, but I guess not. Rye number 4, like I said, he's about the only Valiant character right now that they're publishing that I really care to pick up. Once Exo Man War starts up again, I'll go ahead and start picking up that. I know they have a series coming out. They've had cover artwork and they've announced the teams. It just hasn't. I keep scanning the previews for that first issue and it just hasn't dropped yet. So, Thor number 3, Donny Cates. Oh, look. Anybody who knows Thor knows whose hammer this is, right? That's a Beta Ray Bill hammer. Donny Cates came on this with the new rebranded issue 1, and Thor has this new, much younger look. I haven't read the new issues yet. Jason Aaron, kind of came to the end of his tenure in a very big way with the War of the Realms and all that, and then a little bit of maybe a few months were between that and this starting off point. So Donny Cates does good work, but I'm interested to see how futuristic and loony this Thor is. It doesn't look very Norse mythology to me. Last one here, X-Men number 6 by Hickman. Hopefully I'll sit down and read 1 through 7 in the next few days here. I just finished up reading the Flash Year 1 storyline from the Flash. I had dropped the Flash for a while. I liked the look of Year 1, so I picked that up. Picked up a few issues after, which, looking at it, I'm not as interested in. Williamson's been kind of on and off for me, but that Year 1 storyline, just the look of it, I was like, let me get that. And about 5-6 issues was pretty good. I'll keep that in my collection, but the Flash ongoing hasn't been anything amazing to me so far since Rebirth, unfortunately. So, I'll pick up that storyline, which was obviously a flashback to Year 1, and then I figured I could just read those and then drop it again. So video's going a little bit long for me, guys, because these take a long time to upload. So that's it for today. Hope you have a good one, and hopefully I'll be on a more regular schedule from here on out. Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.